What a day to be along the banks of the Ohio River. The Buccaneers and the Bengals in the afternoon tonight. Game 3 of the National League Division Series. The Phillies and the Reds. And heck, Brian Billick, you throw in the Princesses on ice over at the arena a couple of blocks away. And better than 115,000 people will attend those three events combined today. Raheem Morris, in his second year as head coach, the longest head coach in the National Football League, trying to win a fourth consecutive road game. The Buccaneers have not done that since 2003. And on the other side, Marvin Lewis, in his 8th year as head coach of the Bengals. The 8 years tied for the longest tenure of any Cincinnati head coach with Sam Weish and the late Paul Brown. Cincinnati has won the toss, elected to receive. Number 12 is Quan Cosby. Number 28, Bernard Scott. And this one underway. Bernard Scott from the 5. And it's dropped back at the 19-yard line, and that's where 30-year-old Californian Carson Palmer in his 8th year out of USC will put it in play. 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions to begin the year for Palmer. So many weapons on offense. Cedric Benson rushed for better than 1,000 yards last year. The duo of Ocho Cinco and Terrell Owens. And the number 1 pick, Jermaine Gresham, the tight end up front. It's been a very inconsistent group so far this year.
Yeah, and that's a group that's going to have to be better for Cincinnati to get on track with both their passing game and the running game.
Cedric Benson, slow to get started this season after rushing for nearly 1,300 yards last year. Defensively for Tampa Bay, a lot of promising young defenders on this defense. Well, you talk about young. Styles White, the longest tenured player in just his 4th year. Barrett Rood has led him in tackles in each of the last 3 years. And in the secondary, Cody Grimm replaces the suspended Tenard Jackson at free safety. And a timeout burned by Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Tampa was a man short. Sabi Piscatelli had to run in late because something happened in the substitution package.
Just seconds into this one from Cincinnati. Tampa Bay having to burn a timeout.
Well, they're having to match up their nickel people with now a 3-wide alignment by Cincinnati. We're going to see this rotation all day long.
2nd down and 8. First throw of the game by Palmer. It's complete to Chad Ochocinco. And depending on where they spot it, he appears to be about a foot shy of the first down.
Boy, and that's one of those, a veteran like Chad needs to know where the ball placement is. And this has been an issue for Cincinnati. Oddly enough, 3rd and long, they've been successful. It's the 3rd and shorts and mediums that have given them a problem up to now.
So 3rd down and a yard for Cincinnati on this opening possession of the afternoon. Benson bounces it to the outside, tries to cut back inside, but has enough for a Cincinnati first down.
And when you have problems on a 3rd and short, you typically have to look to your offensive line. Cincinnati going into the no huddle. We anticipated this a little bit, trying to take advantage of that young secondary you talked about of Tampa Bay, Tom.
Well, the Bengals ran no huddle 3 series last week against Cleveland and scored on 2 of the 3 series.
False start, offense, number 63, 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Bobby Williams in his 11th year out of Arkansas.
Yeah, and this kills you in the no huddle. The right guard here gives you a jump. If you're going to run the no huddle, obviously everybody's got to be on the same page. This has been a staple of Cincinnati's for years. part of the limitation is they've got some young receivers, particularly at tight end and Gresham, and they're worried about their ability to orchestrate this from the line without mistake.
Across the middle, and the catch was made by Terrell Owens. Picks up 5. Owens coming off a spectacular game last week in Cleveland. 222 receiving yards, the second highest in a game for his fabulous career.
And they continue to challenge them with this no huddle. Carson Palmer likely to check to a run here.
That looked like another false start by Cincinnati.
Yeah, the left side looked like it might have moved. We'll see. Boy, and they'll get out of this no huddle real quick if they keep this up.
False start. Offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Should be noted that's Andre Caldwell in the slot, who is playing for the injured rookie, the very talented rookie, Jordan Shipley. And look at that, 10 false start penalties already this year. That includes the 2 in the game already today.
And you would have expected that from a young rookie like Shipley, but not from a third-year player like Caldwell.
Blitz coming off the edge. That's Rondé Barber. And maybe a 2-yard pickup on the short completion again to Terrell Owens, covered beautifully by Quincy Black. So 3rd and long now for the Bengals.
All right, Barber comes from the outside here. You're going to see him flying off the edge, and there's no one better at this than Tiki Barber coming off this right side. Rondé Barber. Tiki could have come off the outside, but he wouldn't have made the tackle. Rondé does a great job, and there's no one better at it. Carson Palmer, nice job just dropping the shoulder and letting him go right by.
Blitz coming. And overthrowing the intended receiver Owens is Carson Palmer. So a very sloppy start on offense for Carson Palmer and the Bengals.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, 3rd and long has been pretty good for the Cincinnati Bengals. You got a veteran like Carson Palmer throwing to veteran receivers like T.O. and like Chad Ochocinco. That was just a deep middle route by T.O. and just a little high by Carson Palmer. You can tell these guys are still getting used to one another with T.O. just coming to this team within the last month.
So now Kevin Huber, a Cincinnati native, on the punt. Michael Spurlock from the 18-yard line. And he is dropped at the 28 by Chris Crocker. So Palmer and the Bengals slow on its opening possession. We'll see about Freeman and the Bucs. First possession of the game for Tampa Bay from its own 28. Parnell Williams finds some running room and crosses the 35 up to the 36. A gain of 8 on first down. Freeman in his 2nd year, a first-round pick out of Kansas State. Parnell Williams, we'll see how many carries he gets today. They're talking about more carries for LeGarrette Blount and Kareem Huggins. As always, keep an eye on their talented tight end, Kellen Winslow. Out of the backfield, and the rookie Aurelius Ben with the reception at his first 3 NFL catches 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh. It's a first down. Let's send it back to Los Angeles to Kurt Menefee.
Well, with Jay Cutler out and Todd Collins starting, the Bears get back to their running ways. The little pitch taken by Matt Forte, 18 yards on the score against Carolina. It's the Bears' first rushing touchdown since week 13 of last year. They lead at 7-0. Tom and Brian.
Bears, of course, trying to bounce back after being walloped by the Giants last weekend. On first down, Williams spins out of trouble, got a block from his quarterback, but still loses almost 6. Cincinnati's defense a season ago, 4th overall in the NFL, 6th in scoring defense. Michael Johnson starts for Antoine Odom up front. They've had very little pressure on the quarterback so far this year. Dhani Jones, their leader in the middle. And in the secondary, very good corners in Joseph and Hall. And Dukeway for the injured Roy Williams. And already Leon Hall, one of those corners we talked about, leaves the field injured. 2nd down and 16. Blitz coming. Freeman hit. And off the hand of Kellen Winslow. Shinadum and Dukeway charging off the edge to put the hit on Freeman.
They bring in Dukeway off the weak side right here. And this is a challenge for a young quarterback. He's got to know that extreme outside rush by a safety like this is unblocked. You either have to beat the blitz with the throw or do something else to make him miss.
Tampa Bay has been extraordinarily good in 3rd and 10 or longer. Best in the league, 5 out of 13 converting.
Well, this is typically where you look for Kellen Winslow. This is his go-to guy on 3rd down.
They set up the screen and it's dropped. But there is a penalty flag down. It looked like there was movement before the ball was snapped.
Offside. Defense, number 91. Wow. In the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's Robert Gathers.
Boy, 3rd and long, 3rd and 15. You got him to punt after a shaky start by your offense. Now you're going to give them another shot. Like you said, Tampa Bay's been fairly decent on 3rd and long. Giving them another shot, that doesn't work in percentage favor on your part. Marvin Lewis not going to be happy with that.
Leon Hall is checked back in for the Bengals on now 3rd and 11.
Winslow's up here.
Four-man rush. Freeman being chased and just throws it away. Gathers and Odom in hot pursuit of Josh Freeman.
Again, with a young quarterback, which you typically have, particularly on a 3rd and long, he's going to look to number 1. He's going to look to number 2. If you can get him to hold it just momentarily, you're going to have plays like that where you chase him out of the pocket. He's a good athlete, but on a 3rd and long, low percentage leaving the pocket on that.
Juan Cosby and Adam Jones await the punt from Chris Bryant. Of course, Jones trying to resurrect his life and his career here in Cincinnati. And this is Adam Jones. And he's tackled all the way back at the 12-yard line, and penalty flags down on the play. Good coverage by Aurelius Ben.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a push from behind, a block from behind on Cincinnati, going to back them up even more.
Illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 29. Penalty was during the run back, 10 yards, 1st down.
Well, you called it, Brian Billick. And Marvin Lewis none too happy about this start for his team. Boy, could you ask for a more beautiful weather weekend than we have had in Cincinnati.
Wow.
Temperatures in the low to mid 80s. And not a cloud in the sky.
And it's going to get warm. It's going to be a factor late in the game because the heat here uncharacteristically is going to be a factor on these players.
So after the penalty, this drive begins from their own 6-yard line, and this is Cedric Benson to give him a little bit of breathing room out to the 18 and another 1st down.
Both these teams tend to run between the tackles, Tom. They tend to be downhill, a little bit of a stretch play. Cedric Benson, a powerful runner, the kind of guy that can stretch it, as you see here, and then when he wants to put his foot in the dirt and get downhill, he can do it with a little bit of force.
A gain of 11 for Benson, who's not rushed for 100 yards in any of the first 4 games this year. Batted ball on the quick slant. The rookie Gerald McCoy got a paw on it. Let's send it back to Los Angeles for a game break to Kurt Menefee.
And we go back to the Bears running the football. Hadn't had a rushing touchdown since week 13 of last year. They've got 2, and they're not even done with the first quarter, both by Matt Forte. This one is 68 yards, and they lead the Panthers 14-3. Forte, 4 carries, 101 yards, and we're midway through the first quarter. Tom and Brian.
Bert, thank you. So a big start for Matt Forte, who was nicked up quite a bit last season, but is in great shape and off to a good start today. Catch made by the rookie, the #1 pick out of Oklahoma, Jermaine Gresham. And boy, are they high on him.
They are, but they're very aware of the fact this guy really hasn't played in about a year and a half. So obviously there's a lot for him to get back into that groove. He's a talented athlete, great pickup for them midway to late in the first round. If he can continue to improve and understand the offense where they can get to a little bit more of that no huddle with him in there, he's going to be a force for them.
3rd down and 2. Blitz coming again, and it's dropped by Owens. It would have been a first down. Instead, Cincinnati will punt.
You know, Terrell Owens, excuse me, you know, obviously one of the great receivers in this game. He will do this, particularly on the easy catches. You love to drag him across the middle. He's such a big target. It's like seeing a tight end come across the field. But this has plagued him the last 4 or 5 years of his career.
That is the 10th dropped pass thrown by Carson Palmer so far this season. A booming punt by Kevin Hubert. And Spurlock from the 21. Trying to turn the corner. And is tackled at the 28-yard line by Ndukwe. So T.O., an early drop. Welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati with Brian Billick and our entire Fox crew. I'm Tom Brenneman. Thanks for making us a part of your Sunday. Scoreless game. We're in the opening quarter. And a first down for the Buccaneers from their own 28. They fake it to Williams. And Freeman finds a wide open Kellen Winslow up to midfield. Winslow came over in the trade, of course, last year from Cleveland. And is having a very nice run at it in Tampa Bay.
And you can see Winslow here on the inside after a play fake, just getting a deep outside route. This is the matchup that Tampa Bay's got to look to. Obviously, Cincinnati very talented on the outside with Joseph and Hall. The best matchup they have on the field is Winslow versus one of these safeties or a linebacker of Cincinnati.
Parnell Williams dropped from behind by Ray Maualuga in his second year out of USC.
And because of what Cincinnati has on the outside by way of corner against this young outside receiving core of Tampa Bay, it lends itself to dropping the safeties down in, whether it be in Ndukwe or Crocker, to not only jump on the tight end, but add that guy to the box to stop this rushing attack.
2nd and 9.
Here he's dropping down again.
Blitz coming. They pick it up. And out of bounds. The intended target, the rookie Mike Williams, and Leon Hall with him step for step.
Of course, in the old rule, this might have been a force out, but doesn't exist, obviously, for the last couple years. Would he have come down inbounds on his own? Could he have? But it doesn't make a difference in today's rule. You got to come in with both feet inbounds. That would have been good at Syracuse.
This ain't Syracuse.
No, sir. 3rd down again. Always know where Winslow is.
Bobbled snap. And Freeman breaks a tackle. And is ruled within the grasp. Maualuga had him wrapped up. Freeman is so big and strong, 6'6", nearly 250 pounds.
Yeah, you can see him. This guy, until you stand next to him, you don't realize just how big he is. And boy, you can see here, that should have been a tackle, and they did call it as such, but he's strong enough to run out of that. You're not going to take him down jumping on high.
You like that call?
No, if that's called in the Super Bowl with New York and New England, New England's got another Super Bowl. He wasn't in the grass as much as Eli Manning was. I question that one a little bit.
So now Bryant punts it away. And again, Adam Jones. A big return up to the 44-yard line. A 26-yard return for Adam Jones. Big return by Adam Jones, of course, the 6th pick in the 2005 draft by Tennessee. Was a very good player, a very dangerous return man. Of course, he's had so many off-the-field issues, but from what we're told by Carson Palmer and many others, he has done very well so far here.
It's Adam Jones, not Pac-Man.
Yes.
That's part of the conversion here. It's no longer Pac-Man. It's Adam.
We had a fascinating conversation with the Bengals owner, Mike Brown, about so many of the players they've given a second, a third, a fourth, even a fifth chance to on a completed pass to Jermaine Gresham on first down up to midfield. He said, you know, my dad, Paul Brown, we were so different. He said, Paul, he'd have a hard time giving his own kids a second chance. He said, I'm 75 years old, and I realize Mike Brown saying that I know young people make mistakes.
Cincinnati back into that no huddle now. I thought they might let that cool a little bit. Let's see how they orchestrate it here, hopefully without a procedure penalty.
Cedric Benson, he's off to a good start today. That's a first down inside the 45. Well, Benson is such a good back. He has had a spectacular year last year.
And last year it was the key. He is what allowed them to transform this team into a physical running attack.
Wide open is Terrell Owens, and that's a touchdown.
And this is what you get when you can go to the no huddle, run the ball, force the defense to add that extra man into the front, and then get the one-on-one matchup you want.
A 43-yard touchdown strike from Palmer to Owens. And now Mike Nugent for the point after. Nothing Bengals.
That's what they brought this guy in here to do. Just ask him, he'll tell you. But I tell you what, that physical presence on the outside, when you can get a one-on-one with this guy, you're going to win that matchup more often than not. Nice loft by Carson Palmer on the outside. The DB tripped just a little bit coming out of it. That was certainly a part of it, but that will happen when you match up against a physical specimen like Owens, because you get into that little subtle push and shove match that they'll let you have, and with that strength that he has, you tend to lose that battle.
It really is amazing. We were at practice here on Friday. When you stand next to Terrell Owens, to think that is the body of a 36-year-old who's been in the league for 15 years.
And a 36-year-old wide receiver. He's got the body of an outside linebacker. This guy is a meticulous trainer. Well, all the things said about Owens, you'll not find a coach that won't tell you that he's a hard worker. He's about football. Yeah, there's all the peripheral stuff, but you're never going to hear a coach that's worked with him tell you they didn't love working with him.
Owens last week passed Isaac Bruce for number 2 on the all-time receiving yards list, second only to Jerry Rice in the history of the game. So Nugent puts a right foot on the football. Spurlock bobbles at the 5, and he is level. McElroy.
Let's go back and look at what I'm talking about here. I want you to see what they're trying to do here. They're going to drop a secondary man down into this box and give you a 7-man box. Well, when you have 3 wide receivers, that means you're going to be one-on-one on the outside. Carson Palmer knew exactly where he was going to go the minute they dropped this guy down, and he saw one-on-one coverage at the top.
And Owens ran right by Aqib Talib. Williams stuffed at the line of scrimmage. There was talk coming into this game that they would start to reduce the number of carries for Carnell Williams. Very much a sentimental favorite among the fans, the players, and the coaches. A guy who's come back from 2 major knee surgeries, and that we might see more of LeGarrette Blount or even Kareem Huggins, but neither one so far has touched the ball.
Yeah, and the whole league's gone to a 2-back rotation system, but obviously you got to go with the guy that you think's got the hot hand. He hasn't had a chance to establish him yet.
Good throw on the crossing pattern, and the catch is made for a first down up to the 32, and again it's Kellen Winslow.
Well, he's clearly going to be his go-to guy. Kellen Winslow, keep in mind, in the last decade there's been 2 tight ends taken in the top 10 picks. Vernon Davis in San Francisco and Kellen Winslow, both with the 6th pick of the draft. Very talented tight ends, and clearly the veteran go-to guy for a young Josh Freeman.
Kareem Huggins, number 32, is checked in the backfield. And he'll get the ball. Short pickup, tripped up by Dhani Jones.
And Cincinnati's playing the same game with Tampa Bay. They're bringing the extra guy down into the box, kind of daring Josh Freeman to say, okay, do you have an Owens to go to? Can you go to one of these outside guys, whether it be Williams or Ben or one of these other receivers, to take advantage of the fact that you got one-on-one coverage? Cincinnati has a lot of faith in its corners, Joseph and Hall.
Slaughter with big running room. Still on his feet, crosses midfield and run out of bounds at the 44-yard line. He got a big block from Donald Penn, the left tackle.
Yeah, this is obvious. You see this in college all the time. Just a quick screen to the tight ends. Nice job. You start inside, and you know what? You're going to put him on his backside. I'll go outside because there's probably nobody outside of him.
Penn in his 5th year out of Utah State.
And Aggie
signed the Minnesota Vikings practice squad. Blitz coming. Freeman is leveled, and that might draw a flag. The Tampa Bay sideline livid that no flag was thrown.
Well, you leave the pocket, you don't get quite the same, and he is down a little bit. He took a shot. He's down on a knee. And again, you're seeing pressure here. This is twice now that Josh Freeman, I'm not sure, was totally aware that he was getting full pressure and what his responsibility was. Again, when you leave the pocket, you don't quite get the same protection because now you're on the move, and that hit to the helmet below the knee, it changes the parameters just a bit.
Well, they have their backup quarterback starting to get loose on the sideline, Josh Johnson. As Freeman is still shaken up over in front of the Tampa Bay bench. And it will be Johnson, at least for a play, in his 3rd year out of San Diego. A 5th-round pick in 2008. He got some playing time last week against the Steelers, went 6 for 6 for 67 yards and did throw an interception.
Well, early on, they thought this might be their guy. He was with Jim Harbaugh at UC San Diego, where he made a name for himself. He's an excellent athlete, obviously a little more mobile, not as big and powerful as Josh Freeman, but can run around a little bit more effectively.
Nice open field tackle Made there by Chris Crocker. Let's send it back to Los Angeles for a game break.
It is the universe.
Against Houston, Eli Manning taking advantage of his big receiver, Hakeem Nicks. Nicks had a touchdown reception earlier and takes this one 27 yards to the 1-yard line. Brandon Jacobs scored a couple of plays later, and they lead it 14-0 in the first quarter. Tom and Brian.
So a good start for Eli and the Giants, coming off a big win over Chicago. Here it's 3rd and 9. And a blitz coming, and they pick it up. Able to make the catch, but unable to get the first down is Mike Williams.
Well, you got a new quarterback in the game, and naturally you're going to see pressure coming at that young quarterback and test you. Did a nice job sitting in the pocket. Obviously, Josh Freeman here. We talked about how one of the difficulties for Cincinnati thus far is they haven't put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They recognize, you know what, we can't get there with the 4-man rush. We're going to bring a whole bunch of folks and see if we can pressure you that way.
Juan Cosby stands inside his own 10. Nice bounce, and the Bengals will start this drive from the 6. So that's the end of the first quarter. Cincinnati a 7-0 lead. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages. Set to begin the second quarter here at Paul Brown Stadium. The Bengals with a 7-0 lead, and for the second time in 4 possessions, they'll begin a drive inside the 10-yard line. Benson looking for running room, cuts it back to the inside and picks up close to 3. And a penalty flag down. Bengals have already been flagged 4 times in the game. Is this the
holding
5th?
Offense,
Yep.
number 82. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's a tight end, Reggie Kelly. Some of the offensive leaders for Cincinnati, they've run it well with Benson. Palmer, the 43-yard touchdown throw to Terrell Owens, the only score of the game. Palmer throws from the end zone, and it's intercepted, and a touchdown. The rookie Cody Grimm, you knew when it left his hand it was a dangerous pass by Palmer.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers told us they had some things. You're going to see Grimm come running in out of this screen. He was running to this like he knew what the call would be. Immediately turned to play the ball. He wasn't concerned about the man. They said they had some things for the Cincinnati Bengals and Carson Palmer. He looked one way, thought he had free access on the other side. That's an easy touchdown for Tampa Bay, just what they needed to counter the big play to Terrell Owens.
Second career start for Cody Grimm. Of course, his father Russ inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year. And you know his daddy is smiling over this. For Cody Grimm, his first career interception, his first career touchdown. And it's a 7-7 game in the opening minutes of the second quarter. Adam Jones from the 9 and run out of bounds at the 28. Let's go back to the interception.
Well, this is what got him. You're going to see Grimm right here. He's in the interior of the defense. Carson Palmer thinks he's safe. Right here, stop. You can see his vision's down here to affect the corner. As he comes back out now, he has no idea that Grimm has buzzed underneath it here and comes up with the big interception. and he's going to have to explain to his kids, because he's going to have this picture on his wall for the rest of his life, what he was doing with pink gloves on, which we all know is in honor of the Breast Cancer Society and all that, but that's what he's going to have to explain to his kids for a while. That's going to be up on his den wall, I promise.
Oh, yeah. NFL during the entire month of October, celebrating breast cancer awareness. So the Bengals back on offense, and they hand it to Benson. And a good pickup on first down, a gain of nearly 7 for Cedric Benson.
And they're sticking with the no huddle. They think this is the way to calm down that defense. Obviously, we've seen it lead to a big touchdown. It's all about Carson Palmer sizing up the look. How many people in the box? Where do I want to go with this? Am I getting one-on-one matchups that I like on the outside?
Another dangerous throw there by Palmer. It's caught by Caldwell. A very short gain. Good coverage by Barber. Let's send it back to Los Angeles.
Rams kick a field goal to tie the game at 3. So after that, you have to kick off, right? Stephon Logan says thank you very much. The Detroit Lion comes out of the end zone, goes 105 yards for the kickoff return for a score. Trust me, he made it all the way, guys. They lead at 10-3 in the second quarter. Tommy Bryant.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. They're bringing it out for a measurement to see if the catch was good enough for a Cincinnati first down.
And let me tell you what happened on that last play. It is a first down. They showed a one-on-one on the outside, Tom, that led Carson Palmer to check to a quick pass and then rotated into a 2-shell. Taking away those quick passes, that's why he had to go to the tight end. Right now, Tampa Bay playing a real cat and mouse game with Carson Palmer in terms of this no-huddle check offense.
Palmer, 30 years old. He's in his 8th year out of USC. Twice has been to the Pro Bowl. Many will remember on the very first game in the playoffs, on the very first play of that game between the Bengals and Steelers. Palmer had his knee torn up on a long completion to Chris Henry. 2 years later, missed an entire season. For the better part of it, with an injured elbow, he elected not to undergo Tommy John surgery on the elbow.
And there are some people that think there's still lingering effects with his throw. I don't know that I've seen that yet from Carson Palmer. He's got a strong arm, obviously. He's got the anticipation.
Second down and 6, pump fake one way. And a catch over the middle made by Caldwell, and he's a couple of yards shy of a first down.
And you knew coming in as Cincinnati goes in and out of the no huddle. Typically you'll break a no huddle like they have here. You'll stay no huddle on first and second down. Third down, you want a more orchestrated call. So you can see they huddle up, they get a different personnel grouping in. You want the more orchestrated call. We'll see if they indeed get the first down, will they kick back into the no huddle.
Third down and a yard. Brian Leonard in the backfield alongside Palmer. And a wide open receiver is missed by Palmer. And for the first time really in his career, Palmer is starting to feel some of the heat from the fans here, based on the things you just talked about. Many wonder, will he be the guy that he was when he first came into the National Football League?
And I got to tell you, Carson Palmer carries a lot on his shoulder. He's got a young group of receivers by way of the tight end Grisham, and obviously Andre Caldwell in now. Chad Ochocinco kind of runs his own route. He has to keep up with a lot of guys. That is a factor here, I promise you.
Kevin Huber on the punt. And this one will be down at the 1-yard line. Morgan Trent down there. 52-yard punt. 7-7 game.
Nice job by Reggie Nelson here. No part of your body can touch the ball as you go to down it. For a while there, I thought it might come out to the 20. Nice job. The ball gets tipped. Now watch what he does right here. He tips it and then lets go. He knows that if he touches it while he's in the end zone, that thing goes out to the 20. Nice heads-up awareness by Reggie Nelson.
So back in the game is starter Josh Freeman. You may recall he was shaken up on the last Buccaneers possession. First man through and a big hole for Ernest Graham. Graham across midfield and finally run down at the 40-yard line by Leon Hall. What a big play there for Tampa Bay.
Boy, you get a team backed up, and how often do you see this? You're going to watch him hit into the interior of the line. We'll let this run here. And just as he gets in there, stop. You're going to see a whole bunch of people behind him. They've come in at tough angles. Graham sees nothing but grass in front of himself. You can bring 8 people and 9 people down the box, but you better cover all the gaps.
61-yard run, the longest run by a Buccaneer so far this year. Freeman looking down the field, puts it up, and it's intercepted by Jonathan Joseph. And he's still on his feet. And out of bounds at the 23-yard line, a rookie mistake by a second-year quarterback. Jeff Fain injured and was helped off the field. Appears to be moving around a lot better there along the Tampa Bay sideline, but the interception thrown by Freeman gives Cincinnati the football, tied at 7. Bernard Scott, his first carry of the afternoon, and he picks up 4.
Really can't see here. Fain right in the middle, obviously, just kind of gets wadded up. Really can't see what it was, but it happened early. Just kind of buckles as it goes by. Hopefully he can get back in. You lose your center. And then you're going to see right here just a beautiful job by Cincinnati here. Baiting him into thinking he's got to throw. Falls off the outside receiver for an easy interception by Jonathan Joseph.
Go get him, go get him.
Carry again is to Scott. Picks up a yard, maybe 2. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Bengals. Go back to the last possession of Cincinnati. And we talked a lot about this on Friday in our meetings here, Brian Billick. Among the best rushing teams in the NFL last year. They bring in T.O. They bring in Jermaine Gresham as a #1 pick at tight end. And now all of a sudden people are wondering why aren't they throwing the ball very well. But on 3rd and 1, they're throwing.
Yeah, and here we see Fain walking off. Hopefully that's short term. But yeah, throwing it on 3rd and 1.5. And that's where they've been struggling. 3rd and short and medium. Oh, boy. Goodness gracious.
False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That is the 11th false start penalty against Cincinnati so far this year.
And this is the second one on Bobby Williams. He's pleading his case, but to no avail, because you're not going to win that argument. But that's 2.5 twice. Again, now you've turned a 3rd medium into a 3rd and long. You've doubled the chances of not converting when you go from a 3rd medium to a 3rd and long.
Our referee Scott Green talking it over with the rest of his officiating crew now.
Well, whatever it was, they got it sorted out. As we said, Cincinnati's been better on 3rd and long. They're going to have to be better here to convert on this one after giving up on a 3rd and 6.
Palmer nearly threw it right into the arms of Quincy Black. Boy, for a team with so many weapons, this has been an ugly day for the Bengals on offense.
And this has been a tough day for Palmer. He's already been intercepted for a touchdown. This is the 2nd ball batted down. He's had him dropped here by T.O. And again, now this all comes back on Carson Palmer. What's wrong with Carson Palmer? Well, part of it is protection, part of it's drop passes. You got to give Tampa Bay credit for playing good defense as well.
And it's blocked on the punt by Huber, then nearly hit a Tampa Bay player. It looked like Geno Hayes, number 54, got a hand on the Huber punt. Only a 28-yard punt, but Palmer under pressure and was lucky he wasn't picked off for a second time.
Pressure comes from the left side of the line. Geno Hayes, you got to work inside out on punt protection. They don't do it there. He comes through and barely gets a hand on it. You can see as he comes in here just at the last minute, just tips the point of it. Now Tampa Bay getting the ball back about where they had the ball when Freeman threw the interception.
7-7 game. 8:41 to play until halftime. Parnell Williams on first down picks up close to 4. And let's check in again with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
Elsewhere in Ohio, the Cleveland Browns hosting Atlanta. Seneca Wallace hooking up with Peyton Hillis, who made a nice one-handed catch for a 19-yard score. Browns lead the Falcons 7-6. Tom and Brian, Hillis has scored a touchdown in every game this year.
Kurt, thank you very much. Jeremy Zuda has taken over for Jeff Fain at center for Tampa Bay. Williams, wow, did he take a hit. In Dukeway getting a start in place of the injured Roy Williams at strong safety and delivers a strong blow here.
Well, he gets a downhill course here, and Dukeway comes in with a specific purpose in mind, and that is not a defenseless ball carrier there. That's a great hit that now forced them into a third down play.
We're going to look at 76 Zuda, who replaces Fain at center. Third and 2, and Freeman to throw it. And they will convert the first down on the catch by Sammy Stroughton. Brian, I got to tell you, I'm more and more amazed watching teams throw the ball on 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2. You've been around a long time. Are you surprised?
Well, I understand the changeup. What I don't understand is why you're in the gun. If it's 3rd and 1 or 2, at least be under center and give the appearance that you might hand off an inside dive or a trap. But you get into the gun unless you're going to hand off a gun trap. I think you're capitulating a little bit in terms of the defense knowing, okay, I'm going to play the odds that it's a pass here.
Up under center is Freeman this time and gives it to Williams, who picks up maybe a yard. We'd like to remind you there's a new way to play fantasy football, real-time substitutions in this 20-minute fast-paced game, and new games start every 15 minutes. Play now at foxsports.com/live.
Part of the evolution of Josh Freeman, he's taken on the next responsibility. You can see here he's doing checks. He points out the mic right there. He's in charge of the protection. He didn't do that last year.
4-man rush. And a catch for another first down is to Kellen Winslow.
This is what I'm talking about, Tom, and he talked about, you can see as he steps up here, well, it was before the snap, excuse me, but he's pointing out the protection. He's taking charge. He can redirect the protection. He also is responsible now. If a man comes free, that one's on me. I can redirect the protection. I can change the play at line of scrimmage. This is something he didn't do last year. It's what obviously regular NFL quarterbacks or long-standing NFL quarterbacks do.
So now Tampa Bay knocking on the door to try and take its first lead of the game. Williams buried in the backfield. Keith Rivers, the first man there to meet him, and in to clean it up a little bit behind him is Tank Johnson.
You know, earlier in the week, Tom, when we talked with Marvin Lewis, you alluded to it earlier about the number of players they have here that are getting second chances. He felt the need to point that out to his team. You know, hey, Tank Johnson, Roy Williams, Adam Jones, Dennis Rowland, Cedric Benson, list goes on and on. Remember how you got here. No one else wanted you. You got to go back to playing with that chip on your shoulder.
Second down and Freeman to throw it. And it's caught by Strutter. Was he ever touched? No, he wasn't. And that is a first down. Leon Hall went diving to try and knock down the pass and never put a hand on Strutter after the reception.
Starts with a great catch. Looks like he has control. And now the question is, at any point, well, I don't know that he was touched. Looks like he went right over the top.
The first down now for the Buccaneers at the 14-yard line. And again, no running room whatsoever for Williams.
We're going to take another view of it here. You're just going to see him break into the outside. First off, this is a heck of a catch because he has control all the way through. That's without question. He just jumps over the top and he realizes it. He realizes, whoa, I didn't touch this guy. He needed to drag his foot or do something to make sure this guy's down. He recognized right away, I better get back on him. Nice pickup by the officials, recognizing that he was not touched well down.
Ninth play of the drive at the Cincinnati 15.
Yep, you can see he was begging for the ball there. You got a new center in the game. He's trying.
Delayed game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
You know, for a quarterback, when you lose your starting center, in this instance, Jeff Fain, and the backup comes in, it can rock your world. He was begging for the ball there. He expected it earlier. Zuda still having to make the calls, redirect the line, do the things that you've got to do. He kept clapping for the ball and begging for it. It's a tough adjustment for a quarterback when your starting center, your comfort blanket, so to speak, is out of the game.
Freeman, only 22 years old, grew up in Kansas City, played in 10 games, starting the final 9 last year as a rookie. And his team off to a 2-1 start this year. 3 minutes to go until halftime. A second down and 15. Another dangerous throw, but coming back to get it, and then fumbling the ball. And the Bengals recover. There is a flag behind the line of scrimmage, and Freeman telling everybody, hang on a minute, as Ndukwe recovered the fumble inside the 5-yard line.
And this is likely to be the dreaded roughing the quarterback. If it does, it's going to erase this fumble.
There was a fumble recovered by Cincinnati. There was also a personal foul, face mask, 68 offense. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of this play. First down.
Wow.
That's a left guard, Kedrick Vincent.
Yeah, can't see. Just on the left side here, we're going to see, you're out late right there. Right there, you can see he gets a hold of the face mask, never lets it go. Kind of got out of position early, and then it looks like the ball, just as he turns to come out of his break, he's got the ball, he's going to score. The ball hits coming out. The ground does not cause a fumble in the NFL unless you've been touched.
A missed opportunity for the Buccaneers on a completed throw inside the 5-yard line, but then the fumble by Mike Williams. Cincinnati recovers it. And of course there was a flag that went against the left guard, Kedrick Vincent. We're going to check in with Mike Pereira, the former longtime head of the NFL officials, from our studios in Los Angeles. After this first down play, and Palmer to throw it across the middle, it's Owens, who's chopped down after a 2-yard gain. Mike Pereira, tell us about, first of all, the fumble part of this.
Well, great. Hey, the ground can cause a fumble if you're not touched down. And then the second big part, that face mask penalty carries over. It carries over and is added on because a personal foul by the offense prior to a change of possession is tacked on to the end of the play.
Second down and 9. We certainly Thank Mike for that explanation. It's been great to have him as a big part of Fox this year, and a big carry for Cedric Benson. It'll take us down to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, this is here you're going to talk about, as we said, he is free to go. He's going to go in the end zone. He's not touched, therefore the ball comes out. And that in college ball that may be down, but not in the NFL. Great break for Cincinnati.
Boy, if you're a Cincinnati sports fan, today is your day. Bengals today, about 2 blocks down the road. The Reds tonight in the National League Division Series, and even a Buccaneer fan in the house today.
That's a lot of gear to buy.
2-minute warning. And Palmer lays it off to Benson, and he has the first down across midfield. Cincinnati has thrown it nearly double the number of times that they've run it, and when they've run it, they have run it extremely well.
Yeah, but that's the battle. That's what the game you play when you go no huddle. If they're going to give you the box to throw against or the coverage to throw against, you got to take advantage of it.
Wide open is Caldwell inside the 30 to the 29. Cincinnati with all 3 timeouts remaining.
Yes, they do, and that's going to be the key. They got all 3 timeouts. Now they've just used 1, looks like. And they've got them to burn, so you're inside of 2 minutes. Actually, you got a minute and a half. The timeout situation, clearly now you got a couple priorities here. It's not a matter of just scoring, but again, you want to score, but you don't want to give the ball back to the other team as well.
You know, we wondered, Brian, coming into this game, we wondered about the youth of Tampa Bay. You talked about it, a young head coach, a young quarterback. We've seen some youthful mistakes. We've seen some very, very good things, which I would imagine you expect from a young team. You do, and their teaching moments. We're also seeing uncharacteristic mistakes out of the veterans of Cincinnati. So it's not just a young team. They've missed some opportunities. 2 in the red zone now, the interception by Freeman, and then obviously you had the fumble by Williams as well. Huge opportunities when you're on the road. Cincinnati, if they can score off of this, they can take the emotional ebb and flow of this game back in their favor going in at half. All right, 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 28-yard line. Blitz coming. Nice throw. And the catch made by Ocho Cinco. No, they say. And the officials are going to talk it over. I believe one official said it was a catch and another official said it was not.
Well, it comes back to the continuation. He's going to give him some help here. He's going to give his opinion. I'm guessing he's saying he had it. But the officials have to. The continuation doesn't go on forever. At what point did he have control? Did he show continuation? That's what they're discussing right here.
It is a catch. Boy, that's a big call.
Play was ruled a completed pass.
Obviously right here, he just runs to the outside. Great throw by Palmer, taking him clearly out of bounds. He establishes in bounds. He's got control. Oh, boy. I don't know that I see the second act up the field. Boy, I don't know. That we're inside 2 minutes, so if that's going to go to review, it's going to have to come from above.
And that's exactly what's going to happen.
I don't know right there that you can say that's clear control through the act. I think there was enough movement of the ball there. This is something they're going to have to look at from above and instigate from above.
While they take a look at that, coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the NFL. And the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. Will bring you an update on Atlanta and Cleveland, as well as Denver and Baltimore. For Cincinnati ran the table in the AFC North last year. They've already beaten Baltimore here this year, but then a stunning loss up the road in Cleveland last Sunday.
And that's why this game is so big. They have, when you lose a game on the road against a team you're supposed to beat, all right, you got to go get that back on the road with a team that is a good football team. But if you lose at home, to a team that you should beat in that category, then that's you got to go back on the road to even that one up. Now we're going to look at it one more time here, and again, it's got to be a catch. You got to see the second act, which I'm not sure 1-2 step. I don't know that he established himself with that second act up the field. He's still trying to gain control to get out of bounds. The ball is starting to move. I would think, in my opinion, that thing's going to come back. I don't think he had enough of a control throughout enough of the act. He does there, but now that thing's starting to come out right now. Nice continuation here by Biggers. This is why you constantly tell your DBs, just finish the play. No matter what, finish the play, because you never know what kind of impact you're going to have. Marvin trying to get his troops, regardless of the call. What you can't do is, if the call goes against you, get your dauber down, because you're still in scoring position.
All right, here we go. Now the verdict.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not maintain possession of the ball. He was juggling the ball. It's an incomplete pass. It will be second down on the 28-yard line.
Well, you thought that would be the decision, Brian Billick.
And now Chad's a perfect example. Regroup now, Chad. Get your focus. I know you're disappointed. This is a fine line right here, but clearly right there, if he hadn't had that contact with that little bit of bobble as he's going out of bounds, he might have gotten away with it, letting go of the ball once he got out of bounds. But right there in the field of play, not real clear cut. Again, officials get it right. Now Cincinnati's got to regroup. They're still in great scoring position.
Bengals 2 timeouts remaining, 1:18 to play until halftime. A 2nd and 10 at the 28. And Palmer throws a quick hit to Gresham, who does not get out of bounds.
Young rookie mistake.
He appears to have enough for a first down. As we close in on 1 minute, it is a first down.
And they've got lots of time with these 2 timeouts. Makes all the difference in the world.
Palmer throws. Palmer is tackled at the 13, and they will indeed spend a timeout, stopping the clock with 47 seconds until halftime.
Now what you're apt to do here, you got a couple options. You can call 2 plays in the huddle. You can call a 2nd and a 3rd down play. You'd like to keep that timeout, that one remaining timeout, in your back pocket, because should you get a first down, that gives you a lot of latitude with that timeout. I can run the ball if I want to, but if they choose to run the play here and then call a timeout, you still have plenty of time to run what's called your bingo field goal team on. If you go for it on 3rd down without a timeout, you don't get it. You still have plenty of time. For us, it used to be the bingo call. You get your entire field goal team running on the field. They don't have to huddle up. They can run right on to get the field goal. So they can do this one of 2 ways. I'm not sure I wouldn't have a 2-play, hope to get a first down, because I got a lot of time to take a couple orchestrated throws into the end zone.
So the Bengals have really struggled in the red zone so far this season. It's a big reason why they're only 2-2 rather than 3-1. Palmer looking around and throws it away. 41 seconds remain. It's a 3rd down.
Well, the fans kind of booing there, but you certainly don't want to force the ball in where it doesn't belong. At the minimum, you have 3 points here, assuming obviously they can kick the field goal. You've taken the emotion back to your sideline. You've got an opportunity to take a shot now, and this doesn't have to be the end zone. We got a man down. This is Brian Price out of UCLA, one of their draft choices this year.
Price has been playing very, very well in the early part of this season. A hamstring injury slowed down his offseason after being drafted in that 2nd round. But they're very high on the future of Brian Price.
Well, they've got a 1-2 pick here. 1st round with Gerald McCoy, big defensive tackle out of Oklahoma, and Price. People will tell you, build defense, you build inside out, and they're clearly doing it with Price and McCoy. Hopefully this is something that's just temporary for him. This is an incredibly young Tampa Bay team. I mean, when we say young, you can say young, but Rondé Barber at 14 years in the league. They've got someone else I can't think off the top of my head with 10 years. I think it's Jeff Fain. And everybody else, this is a young football team. So when we say young, we mean young. 2 years after our Super Bowl, we had 19 rookies. You talk about young now. You had to weekly. Okay, here's the bathroom. The stadium's here. Okay. The airport's over in this part of town. I mean, you never cease to cover everything when you got a young football team.
All right, third down. 41 seconds left until the half. Bengals at the Tampa Bay 13. Another drop. That would have been a first down to the 7.
Yeah, that's 2 drops already. One by T.O., one by Caldwell. The killer, you got plenty of time to run up, kill the ball, take another shot. But now you got to run the field goal team on. And now here's the tough one. You've just driven the length of the field. You've run a 2-good-minute offense. You're going to kick probably a field goal. How do you go into the halftime not feeling upset that you didn't get more? The emotional ebb and flow of this game, you got to stay up.
31-yard attempt by Mike Nugent. And it is good by Nugent, who grew up just about an hour north of Cincinnati in Centerville, and of course played collegiately at The Ohio State University. So a 10-7 lead with 33 seconds to play. And again, the Visa halftime report coming up. We'll bring you up to date on Atlanta and Cleveland, Denver and Baltimore, and all the action and a lot of early action around the NFL today.
Well, at the end of the day, you celebrate whatever win you can get, and we're a long way from this one being decided. So that's what your focus remains. But Marvin Lewis, he's going to have to pull a possible blue Vayner in the halftime with his team, because you're coming off a very ugly loss against Cleveland on the road that you should have had. We've already talked about the importance of this game in the division they're in. You're chasing a very good Pittsburgh Steeler and Baltimore Raven team. Marvin knows that. If you lose at home against a quote-unquote inferior team, you got to go get that against a good team on the road, and in this division, that's a hard thing to do.
And Brian, when you look at this Cincinnati schedule, it is ranked as the 4th toughest schedule in the NFL. I got to tell you, when you look at what's to come after this game today, I find it hard to believe there are 3 teams that have a tougher schedule than the Bengals.
That's why this one's so big.
Michael Spurlock steps out of bounds at the 22. The Bengals will have an off week next week. But then look at the lineup after that. You go to Atlanta. You've got Miami here. You've got the Steelers here on a Monday night. You go to Indianapolis. Maybe you catch your breath at home against Buffalo, but the remaining opponents after that, against the Jets, New Orleans, the Steelers again, San Diego on the road, Baltimore again. Wow.
Yeah, that's what makes this league so compelling, and you've got to win the ones at home. Obviously, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, a tough one. Got a couple other teams there they might be able to maybe compete with. Right now, they're just going to settle for going into halftime, just being down by 3 points. As sloppy as it's been, I got to believe Raheem Morris is okay with this, you know, coming out on the road after just getting beat down by Pittsburgh. Let's regroup. Let's just don't turn the ball over like we did, and we can get this thing.
So the final seconds tick off in the second quarter. Fox NFL Sunday continues with a Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Well, Cincinnati will kick off to begin the second half. Carson Palmer hitting on 13 out of 22, had a couple of big drops, especially there on that final drive at the end of the second quarter, resulting in a first down. It would have been if Caldwell caught the pass inside the 7, forcing, of course, the Nugent field goal to put him ahead by 3.
And the drop by T.O. was on a third down that would have given them all but backed up or on their side of the 50. But again, those don't show up necessarily on the stat sheet, but it's those little things that as good as you might be at home, you're only up by 3.
Michael Spurlock from the 3-yard line. And he spins out of one tackle, but then dropped at the 22-yard line by Dan Skuta. Early on, the 43-yard strike, Palmer to Terrell Owens, 7-0 Cincinnati. And then from his own end zone, the interception thrown to the arms of the rookie Cody Grimm to tie it. And the field goal by Nugent with less than a minute to play, giving the Bengals his current 10-7 lead. Freeman is hit on 8 out of 13, 107 yards, and has thrown an interception. And he'll throw on first down. And the catch is made by the rookie Mike Williams. A gain of 7 on first down.
Yeah, and you look at these, it's a fairly even ball game as you would imagine. The difference here, obviously, for both of them, no continuity, because you're talking about 1 of 4 and 1 and 6 on third down conversions. You got to start converting on third down to give you a chance to get to that run game when you can balance up the run-pass ratio.
Called a gain on 8 on first down. And Carnell Williams, his best run of the afternoon. He's up to the 45-yard line. Broke a tackle of Chris Crocker. And they'll move the chains on this opening possession in the second half.
Nice job again by Tampa Bay. A couple times we've seen when Cincinnati brings its people down into the box for the block for the run game. You can't all bunch up in the same gap. Otherwise, nice run by Tampa Bay. They need a few more of those to hold on to the ball. A nice orchestrated drive here.
Williams again with some running room. And that appears to be another first down on a gain of 10.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You're going to see right here, the linebackers are up in the A-gap. They're trying to convince you ought not to be running. You got a lot of people, and then they drop out of there on a quick little draw, but they don't follow through with it. You're going to bring that many people on the line of scrimmage, you've got to stuff the run.
Well, they spotted the ball about 1.5 foot short of the first down, so a gain of 9. It's second and less than a yard. It appears to be enough for a first down. Or did he drop it? Nope, couldn't hang on.
That's an incomplete pass. Now, when you got inches like this, and I got a quarterback that's 6'6", 250 pounds, I'm going to think real hard about a quarterback sneak. You know, this is a big man. I'd be surprised. Why turn around and hand it to somebody behind you? Now, Cincinnati knows that. They're going to put a lot of beef up there in the middle. But I got a big man like this. I might just wedge it with the quarterback.
They hand it to Graham, and he has a first down.
Or you could turn around and hand it off to your 225-pound up back, which is not a bad way to go. You saw the tailback go flying out there. That's setting up the next 3rd and 1. Now, typically, and this will be a test for Josh Freeman, you get a first down, you're on the 40-yard line. A lot of teams, this is where you're going to get a play-action fake, maybe go vertical. Unless Cincinnati wants to get into a real shell defense, we might see that shot here.
Miscommunication there between the quarterback and his wide receiver, Aurelius Ben.
Yeah, you zigged when you should have zagged. Freeman thought he was going to pull up on the hitch. The way the cornerback sat down, it would have been a good shot to go vertical with, but obviously Freeman thought he was going to pull up. And again, we keep coming back to the youth, but you're talking about a rookie in Aurelius Ben, a rookie in Mike Williams, a quarterback in only his 2nd year.
second down and long, and this is LeGarrette Blount, the rookie out of Oregon, who only played in 3 games his senior year. You may remember he punched a player from Boise State after a loss to begin last season, was suspended and allowed to come back near the end of the year.
Well, and they're getting like so many teams here. You can see now we're getting a little bit more evened up in the play selection. Why? Because we've got a long drive, a couple first downs that allows you to get to that balance that everybody wants to have with run and pass.
Big play for Freeman and the Bucs.
Freeman pointing out protection again, telling everybody who they've got. Pressure showed by the Bucs.
Freeman hit as he throws and incomplete. That never had a chance. Heavy pressure by the rookie Geno Atkins, number 97. A 4th-round pick out of Georgia.
Yeah, and you're seeing, again, like we said, they've had difficulty, Cincinnati have. Right here, 97 is going to come on the inside. They've had difficulty getting pressure with a 4-man rush. So now they're going to bring the extra man from the outside. I don't know if I circled the right guy there.
You did.
But they put enough people on the line of scrimmage to cause confusion for this Bucs offensive line.
Bengals really like Atkins. Led the team in sacks during the preseason. Has played well. We'll see where they spot this. Trying to pin him inside the 20, and I don't think he managed to do it. They're still running up the sideline. Spotted at the 27-yard line. A 15-yard punt. The Bengals get it for the first time in the second half when we return. (10-7) Cincinnati in front, starting this drive at the 25-yard line. Play fake to Benson. Catch is made by Owens for a first down up to the 42-yard line.
And they are staying with the no huddle. Obviously, they like the pace. They like what they're getting with the no huddle. There again, that does dictate now, okay, we're going to run it. If you don't put enough people down there, we're going to throw it if you do. So they're kind of going off what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers want to play.
And the tight end is a lead blocker there in front of Benson. Jermaine Gresham, and he's up to the 47-yard line.
You know, a lot of people ask me, Tom, how do they spot these punts? And what happens here is you say, well, how does he know where the ball goes out? Well, here's what happens. The referee, Scott Green, he will tell this guy, keep coming until they find the point where he's going to mark the ball.
Well, you can call that a drop ball. I don't know if that's a very well thrown pass.
Yeah, that's and you can see here, just go back to the point, he's got his hands up, he's going to go. As soon as Scott Green tells him, yes, this is where you've arrived at where the ball goes out, he's simply going with the referee. Everybody's got their angle. Yeah, that's 3 drop balls now, Tom, you know, and that'll kill you as a quarterback. That momentum that you want to get. We saw with Tampa even up the run-pass ratio because of a nice long drive. Cincinnati's got to manufacture the same thing here now on a 3rd and medium.
Only 1 of 6 on 3rd down is Cincinnati. And they're looking for the goods again down the sideline and batted away. Beautifully defended by E.J. Biggers. Step for step with Jerome Simpson.
Yeah, 3rd and medium going the vertical right down the rail here. Show body presence. Yeah, there's some hand fighting going on, but that's going to happen by both of them. Nice job. Some people say, wait a minute, that's pass interference. No, it's not. As long as no one's getting a clear-cut advantage, the officials are going to allow that kind of back and forth.
Kevin Huber had a punt deflected back in the 2nd quarter. Able to get this one away. And trying to knock it back and unable to do so was Morgan Trent. 10-7 game. Cincinnati leading nearly midway through this third quarter.
Cincinnati is challenging Tampa to run because they got a whole, or to pass rather, because they got a whole bunch of people up here.
Play fake to Blunt. And the catch is made, and rolling for a first down is John Gilmore. Down to the Cincinnati 41-yard line.
Yeah, the big thing here, obviously, this interception led directly to the 7 points that Tampa has. The interception by Josh Freeman didn't necessarily take points off the ball. It was deep. But Tampa's been able to get the run game cranked up a little bit more because they've been able to extend their drives a bit more.
Freeman taking a shot down the middle of the field and defended beautifully by Jonathan Joseph. We talked about this cornerback tandem with the Bengals, and many will tell you both should have been in last year's Pro Bowl, Joseph and Hall.
And here beautifully played by Joseph. And then you throw in Adam Jones into the nickel. You know, you got to have basically 3 starting corners in the NFL, and they feel like they do, obviously, with Joseph, Hall, and now Adam Jones. This is tough on a quarterback. Hard play fake. You come out of it blind. You basically have to throw up a jump ball. I don't know that I'd attempt too many of those with both Joseph and Hall.
Looked one way, throws the other across the middle. What a nice throw by Freeman. Are they saying the catch was made? They are, by Kellen Winslow to the 20-yard line. Boy, what a nice throw here.
Yeah, this is that laser shot right here. You're going to see Winslow just coming off the line. If he's on the line, he needs somebody to jam him. He looks off the free safety and then fires that fastball into one of the most talented tight ends athletically in the league. Again, clearly his go-to guy when he needs it.
So now Tampa Bay 1st and 10 at the Bengals 18-yard line. Little delay, they give it to Blunt and nowhere to go. You know, outside of the one big run today by Graham, there's not been a lot there from a rushing standpoint. The overall rushing numbers look good, but of course one carry was for 61 yards.
Well, the difference is Tampa Bay is calling and running their runs. They're not going on a check system. What Cincinnati's falling into, good or bad, is that if the numbers aren't right with the box, I'm going to throw it. And at some point you have to be able to run against a box that has an extra man if you want to run the ball. That's what Tampa is attempting.
Ninth play of the drive, blitz coming. Freeman just throws it up in the air, and a flag is down. Is it against Leon Hall? It will be pass interference against Hall, and the Buccaneers are in business.
Interference, defense, number 29. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed to the 1-yard line. First down.
This is just a pressured throw, and this is just going to be a jump ball on the outside here. Freeman, they're bringing the house against him. Just throw up a jump ball. I'm going to figure that Mike Williams at 6'1" is going to out-jump him. I don't know about this. This is one of those you push, I'll shove. We're kind of, it's the grab right there. See that little tug on the jersey? The official can forgive a lot, but not that. You're going to see right there that tug on the jersey. Now, that was what, that flash of white, I think, is what got it.
So now 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. And Graham, a touchdown. He broke the plane. And Tampa Bay has its first lead of the afternoon with 5:28 to play in the third quarter.
And as you see, and we get asked this a lot, clearly as he starts to go down, the ball breaks the plane. And people are constantly asking, why is that not a fumble? Why is that not continuation? Because the guy had possession. He doesn't have to establish himself in the field of play like a receiver does. A lot of people don't understand why a catch in the end zone doesn't have the same rule. It's because the ball carrier obviously has already established possession.
The point after is good. So here we are with 5:28 to play. The Boo Birds out as Tampa Bay is taking a 4-point lead. Nine plays spanning 80 yards, capped off by the Ernest Graham 1-yard touchdown run, his first rushing touchdown since the 2008 season. And for the first time all day long, the Buccaneers have the lead. Adam Jones from the 4. Still on his feet, and he's wrapped up and dragged down to the 28-yard line.
Let's go back and look at the touchdown. As you can see, Graham gets to the outside. Just to continue our thought here, as he goes down, it's where's the ball when his knee touches the ground? There. His knee is down, and the ball has crossed the plane. Clearly, that's a touchdown. The fact that he's established possession, obviously, as a ball carrier would, clearly a touchdown. And now we're going to see, I'm going to be interested to see if Cincinnati does maintain its no-huddle profile.
Adam Jones shaken up after being tackled a moment ago, and we'll be right back. Adam Jones able to walk off the field, appears to be okay on the Cincinnati sideline, but his team not okay against this young Tampa Bay Buccaneer club. 14-10 Bucks, a long way to go.
Well, I'll be interested to see if Cincinnati remains with the no huddle or whether they opt for a more orchestrated call.
Play clock down to 2-1. They get off the snap. Benson. And I got to tell you, Brian, if I'm a Bengals fan watching this game right now, I'm saying to myself, how does Cedric Benson average 8 yards a carry, and he's only carried it 9 times all day?
Yeah, and here they can see they got it all bunched up in here. He breaks out, and there's plenty of people down that box, and here they again go to no huddle. They obviously think this is the way. Very loose secondary. They may opt for a run here.
Benson, another big carry. And that's a gain of 11 more for Cedric Benson.
Now in this cat and mouse game, I imagine you're going to see if they stay in this personnel grouping, and what they're doing is flexing the tight end out in a 2-back set. Does Tampa now bring the guy down into the box? As long as you continue to give him this shell, he's probably going to continue to keep running.
Well, they're going to fake it to him this time. Palmer rolling out. And Ocho Cinco for a gain of close to 5.
And this is a good personnel grouping if you're going to stay with the no huddle, because of the way you can break out of it. You can see the disparity that you've been talking about, although it's beginning to even up if they continue to press the run here. The clock here.
Benson wisely lunges forward to get the first down to the 32-yard line.
And they'll view that like a run, Tom, in terms of the chip, take the shot down the field, not there, drop it off. It's like an extended handoff. They've got Grisham in the backfield like a fullback. Let's see if they leave him there.
Benson again. Wow. Every time he touches the football, it's a gain of 9, 10, 11, 12 yards.
And I got to tell you, facing this many times, when Cincinnati gets this thing cranked up, when they can have 2 in the backfield, displace the other receivers, Carson Palmer is a master at taking what you're going to give him defensively. They have obviously had it in this drive. They need to keep with this rhythm. He's going to take whatever this defense wants to give him. Bob Radkowski now putting it totally in the hands of his quarterback.
Radkowski in his 10th year as offensive coordinator of the Bengals. Palmer. It's thrown away. Again, let's check in with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
The Detroit Lions' Nate Burleson getting away with a little premature celebration here against the Rams. Sticks the ball out early, but it didn't cost him. He gets into the end zone, 26-yard score. The Lions looking for that first one of the year on cruise control in the third quarter.
Wow.
And no good for them. Brian, you and I had their game last week at Green Bay. They nearly pulled off the upset there. Of course, they had the controversial call on the Calvin Johnson catch in the end zone that wasn't a catch.
They're doing the right things.
Benson, a short gain this time of 2. Bring up 3rd down and long at the Tampa Bay 17-yard line. Benson has eclipsed the 100-yard rushing mark today. The Bengals are undefeated since he came to Cincinnati, when Benson carries for over 100 yards.
They got nobody in the backfield, so they're going to send a lot of bodies deep.
Five rush. Incomplete on 3rd down. So Kyle Moore and Tim Crowder sandwiching Palmer just as he was set to throw it, and now the field goal unit comes out.
Well, when you don't have anybody in the backfield, that's a long time to hold those blocks. At some point, you got to get rid of the ball. They've sent 4 verticals with a shallow guy underneath, hoping to catch something deep. If not, drop it off. Hopefully he can run for a first down. Didn't happen. Now they're hoping to obviously pull it within 1.
A 35-yard field goal try by Nugent is good. And there's a lot of screaming and yelling going on that Cincinnati sideline. Jermaine Gresham is very upset about something or it's someone. And Carson Palmer's trying to calm him down.
That's awful strong for a rookie. Yeah, you better reach up there and say, hey, I'm okay, pal. Because as a rookie, you don't want to overstep your bounds. He likely had the matchup they were looking for, hoping for that jump ball at the back of the end zone. Maybe give me that back shoulder throw. This young man coming out of Oklahoma is used to winning.
Boy, they love his makeup. Not only the talent, a young man who missed his entire senior year after injuring his knee. Came off a great junior season where he nearly caught for 1,000 yards at Oklahoma. Of course, Sam Bradford, the quarterback there. And he's hearing it from just about everybody down there right now, including Marvin Lewis.
You know, he's trying. It's a teaching moment. Okay, young man, look, I understand what you're saying, but if you let that frustration get to you, you're no good to me on the next drive when I'm going to need you. Point taken. We'll discuss it. Now move on. It's all part of that teaching moments you look for as a coach, particularly with a young player like Gresham for Marvin Lewis.
You know, Brian, though, I always love to pick your brain because as
Don't
a head
pick too
coach,
much, there won't be anything left.
Here's a kick to Spurlock from the 1. And he's chopped down to 25. But is the ball loose? And the ball is loose. We're still waiting for an official word from the officials on the field. Is it Cincinnati ball? No, it is not.
Looks like they're bringing it back.
They're saying he was down at the 25-yard line. We think.
Well, they're placing it like it is. Again, clearly he's down by contact, has control. Well, I don't know. It rolls out late. But how clear it's got to be, and the recovery. Remember, down by contact rule has to be clearly down Boy, it looked like it might have been coming out. That might, of course, there's no use in challenging it because it wasn't real clear cut where the recovery came from.
And Marvin Lewis, I think, just threw the challenge flag. He did.
Remember now, what I'm saying is it takes two parts. Did the ball come out? And if it did, was it clear cut with regards to the recovery? That's why they play through it. We're going to see.
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling of the previous play.
We'll go over under the hood and see now. From that angle, it looked like it was coming out. We're going to probably need a cleaner look. But now, yes, I've got possession and recovery. So that's clear cut. That part of it's easy.
Well, you saw the strip.
Yeah, let's bring it. If we can look at this again. He's got the ball. No question about that. If we can bring this back, and just as he's going down, a hand reaches in. I don't know if this angle we'll see. Right, stop right there. Right, that is out. Now, did it come out just early enough? From the earlier look, it looks like that thing is out before he comes down. They've got both parts, if indeed they view that. Okay, we know they've got the ball. Watch his left forearm. It is down, but now it's out. It's out. If we could bring that back a little bit. That ball looked like it was coming out. The left elbow was down, but the ball was coming out as he came down.
So Cincinnati challenging the call on the field.
And this is what a young team goes through. And I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You've got here, you hold them to 3. I know they went the length of the field. You're still up by 1 on the road, finishing out the third quarter. As we see here, I want you to come down. I want you to stop it just as his elbow hits. Right there, stop. He's on the ground. The elbow is there. But now as he comes out, you can see right here, that ball is coming out. Just enough. That's for the official to decide. That's why he gets the big bucks. Right there.
Boy, this is a tough one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It looks like it should be out, but which sideline on? For Marvin Lewis, oh, that was clearly out. If I'm Raheem Morris, what are you talking about? I'll go to my grave knowing that thing was not a fumble. Certainly worth the challenge. And here, Tom, you can see obviously the rules.
This is the first challenge by either team today.
After reviewing the play, the runner was not down by contact when he lost possession of the ball. Cincinnati clearly recovered the ball. The ball will be Cincinnati's ball, 1st and 10, 31-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 24 seconds.
That is the 3rd turnover of the game by Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and that'll get you beat anywhere, home or away. And here's what they're saying. The ball is coming out. He did not have possession as he was hitting the ground.
It looked like Roderick McElroy again caused the strip.
Now, to your point,
Jones
Tom,
recovered it.
You got me on board. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid now. I'm not sure you don't just try to run this down their throat into the end zone.
Well, that's what I was going back to you. They ran the ball down the field, and I said I wanted to pick your brain on this kind of stuff because this is what fans think and what I think when I'm watching a game. They go down the entire field by running the ball on a 1st down call. They play fake the run to Benson. They play fake the end around to Terrell Owens. They throw a 2-yard completion. But now you're 2nd and 9, and you got to throw.
Let me play devil's advocate now. Tampa knows that too. So if I'm Tampa, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm going to load that box up. Now here's where I'm agreeing with you. And conversation I had with Marvin Lewis, who used to get on me all the time when he was my defensive coordinator. At some point, you got to run against a superior box. They got 8 men in there. Sometimes you just have to pound away at it. You have to have that ability. They did last year. Here's a place to show we can do it again. I know they might give you one-on-one coverage with these gifted outside receivers. They got a big old lineman in the backfield. Roland is in the backfield now, stepping up with an unbalanced line. This would look like a run formation.
eventually they run it and lose 5 after I'm just asking you about that. But you know what I'm getting at.
I know exactly
believe me,
what
never in a million years am I going to question whether a guy's calling this or that. It's just if you're a fan watching the game for either team, and you're sitting there saying, geez, if you're Tampa Bay, we can't stop the run. Thank God they're not running.
That's where you got to give the other guy credit, too. He's getting paid, too, to know, you know what, we think they're going to do that as well. Let's load the box up. Now you're looking at a 2nd and 12 or 13. Now they're back into that spreading out, putting Grisham out in the slot. Let's see if it's a play fake and a pass. They're giving you the opportunity to run the ball.
And Benson inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and close to 8.
Now here's the tight call. You can kick a field goal for the lead, all but at the end of the 3rd quarter. You got to be, you still want to get a 1st down? Sure you do, but you better be careful about dropping back, because a sack will take you out of field goal range, and you got to believe your field goal kicker is pretty good inside the 30-yard line. We're finishing out the quarter. We'll see what they're going to do with it.
Well, they're going to talk about it. As Carson Palmer comes to the sidelines, you can read the lips of Marvin Lewis saying, let's go. And we go to the 4th quarter. A 1-point game. Fox NFL Sunday continues after a word from your local Fox station. All right, end of 3, 14-13, Tampa Bay. Cincinnati at the Buccaneer 28-yard line on a 3rd down and 9. Good protection. Brian Leonard out of the backfield, and that's enough for a 1st down. Leonard, rarely talked about, was a big part of this offense last year with 30 receptions.
Good physical run. Now, same thing. I think they get back in the mode, okay, that's fine. We kind of bailed it out. We lost on, let's don't lose our nerve. Because if you're going to run now, you're going to run. You can't bail after one bad run.
Going to give it to Benson, and another big run for Benson. He's to the 8. That's 10 more and 9 more for Benson. Averaging over 8 yards per carry here today.
Part of the issue for Cincinnati, if you had a wish list for them, would be for the ability to occasionally get outside a little bit more. They're clearly a tackle to tackle. They'll bounce it outside, but they don't necessarily have that back that can stretch the edges to change up the run occasionally. And so far they're doing pretty good just getting downhill.
Benson to the 2.
And Benson's kind of sending his little message there too, going, you know what, keep it up, coach, keep it up. Nice job of cutting this thing back to the outside. Good balance, good leg strength. Again, one of these reclaimed guys, these throwaway garbage heap guys. Come on in here and we'll make a team out of it.
Well, you got to believe he's going to get it again. To the 1-yard line. Nice play by Quincy Black. Rondé Barber also penetrating behind the line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal.
And you're going to love this. The way they're blowing off the edges there, be a great place for a play action pass. you might come out of this booth, but it'd be a great place for it.
Well, they brought in Domata Peko.
I don't think they're going to be throwing a lot to Peko, so I think you're safe here.
Although he said he was wide open in Cleveland last week, they didn't find him.
Yeah, there's no such thing as wide open enough for him. But I tell you, play action pass.
And Gresham the touchdown.
But that was okay to throw it there. Yeah, it did. But Tom, I'll give it only because we ran the ball as much as you wanted. Yeah, Gresham's a little too excited. You're still on the PAT field goal team, young man.
They're going for 2, coach.
Are they really? Ooh, interesting. Okay, good, good. Usually you wait till about the middle of the third quarter. Gresham with the play fake. What do we say? They're playing run all the way. Look at that. Everybody up into the box. Gresham able to get in behind it because they were so focused on the run, Mr. Offensive Coordinator.
Now, see what you're kicking me in front of the.
No,
I'm just
only because we ran the ball as much as you wanted to. I'm giving you some love here. Only because you went the OHIO when we were up here and they played the song.
Well, everybody's got to be from somewhere.
That's right. Might as well be Ohio. My Ohio State daughter loves it. And they ran on the 2-point. I love it. I love it. We evened it up.
Well, right. You are just dripping with sarcasm up
Oh,
here.
no, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
That's AFC North football.
You got it. You got it. Used to be.
Cheerleaders got this thing figured out here.
They do. I'm guessing they're going to spell Bengals here. Very good.
Yes, they're wearing the pink today. Again,
yes.
For those wondering, the entire National Football League celebrating breast cancer awareness and raising money for annual screening. All right, 21-14. Blitz coming. Ball is loose. And the Buccaneers able to get on top of it. Crocker knocked it loose, and able to dive on it was Kedrick Benson.
Coming off the top again. This is 3 times now. Freeman has not recognized a secondary pressure, an unblocked man. Whether he thought he was going to get the ball out or was going to be picked up, the line has not turned back. He's come free 3 times. Freeman's not acknowledged that he's had to get the ball off.
Blitz coming again. And to the mat goes Freeman. Hit by Frosty Rucker. Let's check in once again with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
The Falcons love third-year defensive end Troy Bierman. Here's why. Blocked the Jake Delhomme pass, intercepts it, and gets up and runs 31 yards for a touchdown. Nice play for a defensive end, huh? Falcons on top 20-10 late in the fourth quarter. Tom and Brian.
Well, you got to like that Atlanta team, Coach. You and I have seen them a couple of times already.
And they respond to adversity so well.
3rd down and 5 here. Boy, this Cincinnati pressure on the first 2 plays of this series is starting to wreak havoc.
Ball start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And Josh Freeman is, as we pointed out, he's pointing out the protections. He's getting his line and backs pointed to the right guy, but they're just not picking him up. That last one that brought about the hurried throw, the secondary guy came inside the B gap, the back and the tackle. 2 guys ended up on 1. He's getting them to the right place. They just now have to pick up these pressures, and Cincinnati is going to continue to pressure until they show they can pick it up.
3rd and 10.
Here it comes.
And here it comes. They pick it up this time. And an open receiver down the middle of the field is Mike Williams, and that's a big play for the Buccaneers.
Huge play. He just has faith that Mike Williams can go up and get that ball, because that was a bit of a loft. He knew the pressure was coming. They did pick it up. You can see they're just going to, they're bluffing, but no, they're not. They're going to end up coming from the inside. Good news is that means they got coverage on the over the top one-on-one. Kind of a jump ball. Obviously had faith that Williams could come down with it.
37-yard gain.
Showing pressure again. Let's see if they back out of it this time.
Freeman chased down by Crocker.
Yeah, right now Josh Freeman just isn't understanding his vulnerability on the outside. When you see outside pressure, you got one of a couple options. You can certainly throw hot or have a break-off, used to call it, the little slants to take care of pressure. You can redirect pressure. You're going to see the pressure coming from the outside. You got to get somebody to the outside. He's releasing everybody. Well, that's fine, but you got to throw the ball hot. If an extremely wide defender comes, he's either not seeing it or thinking he can beat the throw.
Loss of 8, 2nd and 18 from midfield. Parnell Williams took a hit from Dhani Jones when the ball arrived. It's incomplete.
Yeah, when you're in a loose zone the way Cincinnati was, it's all about, we'll let you throw the ball underneath. We got to close and tackle.
All right, let me ask you here. Cincinnati's brought all this pressure on this drive. They got burned on it once. 3rd and 18. Are you bringing the pressure if you're Cincinnati?
Yeah, I think you do, because now you're going to force the quick throw. I'll rally up and tackle. Although they look like they're in a bit of a passive look right here. Looks like a simple 4-man rush.
Yep. Gunned over the middle. Spurlock is tackled well short of the first down at the 41-yard line. So Tampa Bay, a decision to make over on that sideline, and it looks like Coach Morris is thinking about it.
Yeah, at this stage in the game, you're at 9:34. You could punt them down in. Of course, last time they did this, it was a 12-yard punt. So if those are my options, going to take a shot of it. You know what? I love this for Tampa Bay. Let's find out about Josh Freeman. Mike Zimmer now in that down and distance. Again, I'm not sure you don't bring pressure. Force me to drop the ball off short.
Well, they have trips to the left.
They're showing pressure.
And here they come. He gets it away and knocked away by Jonathan Joseph. Brandon Johnson blasting Freeman on the pressure. And Freeman got the throw away and nearly made the play.
Well,
Tampa Bay called timeout.
Oh,
This is their second charge timeout.
Who called timeout? I didn't catch
Tampa
that.
Bay said before the snap.
Wow.
Must have come obviously from the sideline. So we'll take a break. Big 3rd down, 4th down, I beg your pardon. Again, upcoming for the Bucs.
Well, head coach Raheem Morris right here knew pressure was coming, knew didn't like the throw, so called timeout before the call.
And after the timeout was called, Coach Morris changes his mind on 4th down and decides to go ahead and punt it with 9 minutes left to play. And got a good punt from Chris Bryan and down at the 6-yard line. Well, Brian Billick, when you come into practice on Fridays,
they put me to work, man. That's why these linebackers are playing. I'm the best bad ball thrower in the National Football League, which my quarterbacks would probably tell you the same thing.
Here's the problem, though, right here.
Yeah.
You got to coach him up.
Yeah. See, you can't, and you got to throw a jump ball occasionally. I used to do this every Friday with my linebackers. So they get an interception. I get a part of that. Pretty good form there, huh?
Very good. You look like a receiver playing quarterback, as you were in your collegiate days and pro days.
There you go. Long time ago.
Benson just runs right through Savvy Piscatelli. Of course, Benson, a first-round draft pick back in 2003 by the Bears, the 4th pick overall, spent 3 years there, was sharing time in the backfield with Thomas Jones. Back-to-back years, rushed for over 650 yards. Fell into some trouble down where he went to college in Austin, Texas. The Bears let him go. The Bengals picked him up. Ran the ball very well for them over the final 10 games in 2008. And boy, in 2009, a lot like you're watching right now. Benson only played in 12 full games. Rushed for 1,251 yards. Had 6 100-yard rushing games.
And this is what Cincinnati did so well last year when they ran through the AFC North. is again, and you're seeing it here. It's 8-9 man box. We're going to continue to run. It will set up a play action here, maybe a boot and waggle we'll see at some point. Hopefully not here on 3rd and 1.
The first down for Benson. Did I win you over running on 3rd and 1?
Only so I could play action pass on second and 1 down here. No, and this is you're even though we're looking at 7+ minutes on the clock, you're kind of in your 4-minute mentality here, which says we're going to run the ball. If we have to throw the ball, we're going to keep it in bounds. You can see the tide is turning now again in terms of the plays, the play selection. If we see a pass, it's apt to come off a fake, a play fake, a boot, or a waggle, break, contain, just like we're seeing here.
Owens dropped at the 25-yard line. It's a good tackle right there by Talib.
Good open field tackler. That thing would have gone for a little bit. But the clock does become a function here. You're up by 7, so it does take, it's a 1-score game. It takes a touchdown, not a field goal. Take as much clock off this as I can. I'd love to not give it back, as ambitious as that would be with 6:29 to go. I'm not going to risk a turnover. I don't want the clock to stop with an incompletion.
Benson just lost his footing, or that might have been another 5 or 10 additional yards. He's up to the 30-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and less than 2 once again.
And talking with Marvin, as every team does now right now in the league, it's all about a 2-back mentality. And he was talking about the need to keep fresh and why you got to roll people through. He said Benson looked at, well, he was respectful, but he wasn't buying into it. Most backs will tell you, I need that 20th, that 25th carry to really get going. Every back will tell you that.
They threw to Leonard, number 40, out of this formation the last time, and they pitch it to him this time. And he is leveled, trying to leapfrog the defender, Geno Hayes.
Yeah, I don't know that Brian Leonard ought to be trying to jump over anybody. You get your shoulder down. You're not in there to jump over anybody, young man. You get your shoulder down and go. Nice tackle. Players jumping like this, though, I don't. It usually ends up just like that. Todd Heap was the worst. He drive me nuts. Every time he jump up, he'd come down and get hurt.
Looks like Geno Hayes is also shaken up, as is a Bengal on the field. Reggie Kelly, their backup tight end. But both of them able to get up and walk off the field. That's a good sign. 5:17 to go, and the Buccaneers ready to get the football back. Well, I remember Tampa Bay blocked a punt, partially blocked a punt earlier in the game of Kevin Huber. It was Geno Hayes, but he just left off injured a moment ago. And Huber just hammers this. Wow. Huber, a local kid, went to McNicholas High School, about 15 miles to the east of downtown Cincinnati, and then played collegiately right here at the University of Cincinnati. A 72-yard punt.
Now with 450, the way they have not been able, I'm talking about Tampa now, not been able to pick up the pressure. If I'm Mike Zimmer, don't back off this thing now. Don't get into the prevent. Show me that they can pick this thing up one time before you chase yourself out of the pressure pack.
Of course, Mike Zimmer, it was a year and 2 days ago when he sadly and unexpectedly lost his wife, Vicky, of 27 years. Freeman looking down the field to Williams. And it was Jonathan Joseph, or Leon Hall, I beg your pardon, in coverage.
Freeman took a shot there. Again, this is the same kind of jump ball that he threw that got them down the field before. Boy, that one should have been pulled in. Pretty good coverage, but this is not that different than the one that he pulled in to get him down into scoring position.
2nd and 10.
You don't want to get into just a bunch of jump balls down the field. You need a little more orchestrated offense here.
Catch is made for about a 2-yard gain. Good open field tackle by Ndukwe. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. A big, strong, physical. They back out of here. And it's just they come with the secondary man on the outside. He steps out of that tackle. They got beat early. That's the strength of Josh Freeman. But still, as long as he's dumping off underneath, they're going to keep bringing that kind of pressure.
Biggest play of the game for the Buccaneers. Blitz coming again. Catch is made. And Maualuga slams Winslow to the deck. And the Buccaneers will have to punt it again.
That's just the vogue thing in the NFL. Bring pressure, cause the quick throw, and you tell your DBs now, the ball's got to come out quick, otherwise we're going to get home. That allows them to sit down on coverage a little bit more, clamp down on the receivers, because you really don't have time to get the ball off deep.
Juan Cosby waits back at his own 35. And he'll call for a fair catch at the 40. So we have 3:17 to go. Carson Palmer has thrown for 169 yards, threw for well over 300 last week in Cleveland, but it was a loss. In fact, both games this year that Palmer has thrown for over 300 yards, Cincinnati has lost. It's been the run game here in the second half behind Benson, and turnovers, as always, such a huge part of the game. Tampa Bay fumbled the ball inside the Cincinnati 5 in the opening half.
Well, now we're clearly into that 4-minute mode. Be surprised, other than maybe on a 3rd down, if you see another pass. The way it's going, they haven't shown the ability to move the ball. It's all about bringing the clock down here. All you need is a couple first downs.
Play clock down to 2-1, and they barely get it off. Wande Barber up to make the tackle on Benson. Go to NFL.com's Game Center for Week 5 live game stats, fan discussions, in-game video highlights, and more, only at NFL.com/scores.
Well, Benson's loving the game plan now. Feels like last year. And with the games they got coming up, they're going down to Atlanta. They're going to need that run game and the pass game. You go into that dome in Atlanta the way they're playing right now, you're going to need it all.
Please reset the play clock to 20 seconds. 20 seconds on the play clock.
Atlanta's been so good in that dome under Mike Smith. What, 15-3 since he took over?
Yeah, and they're working hard to try to get the energy cranked up. We had them early, Tom, and it was good. Good. It was a blowout win against Arizona, so there wasn't a whole lot of energy in the building. Trying to get the fans there, trying to really make it a home field advantage for themselves.
Benson for only a yard, maybe 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. All right. If you're Tampa Bay defensively here, you only have 1 timeout left. This probably takes us, it will take us down to the 2-minute warning before we have a 3rd down play.
No, but they use the timeout wisely, because now they got to, obviously they can use the 2-minute as ostensibly another timeout. Whether they end up getting a punt, or certainly should Cincinnati convert here.
Well, while we have a moment, next weekend it's homecoming in East Lansing. What a start to this season for Mark D'Antonio and the Michigan State Spartans. They'll take on Illinois. Big Ten football next weekend on the Big Ten Network. Check your local listings for the start time in your area, and of course it'll be a Big Ten team that later today will officially be the #1 ranked team in the nation.
Do I feel an
Ohio State
reference
Buckeyes
coming on? That's right. That's right.
After Alabama's stunning loss yesterday at South Carolina.
Okay, how far does Alabama fall? Do you put a undefeated Boise team in front of a 1-loss
right now?
Alabama
I would,
team?
wouldn't you?
Well, I'll check with you in a month. I want to see where you put them.
You didn't ask me a month. I'm just saying
well,
today.
Right now you can do anything you want.
Right. third down. Huge play here for the Buccaneers. And a flag blows it dead.
False start. Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Grisham's still upset about not being thrown to down in the red zone. You might very well see a draw here. You know, when you're third and long, this long, bad things can happen. You got control of the game. They haven't shown the ability to move the ball against your defense. You might see a draw.
Well, they're going to throw it. Was it intercepted? I believe it was. It is intercepted by Talib. And Talib, is he down? I think they're saying he's down back at midfield, but the interception will stand. You just finished saying, Brian Billick, on 3rd and 13, why not a draw? Bad things can happen. Well, it happened.
Well, and you got to go with the flow of the game. They have not been able to move the ball at all offensively. The last punt, great break on the ball there by Talib. The last punt ended up in Columbus. You know, we'll see what the young Josh Freeman can do. I imagine we're going to continue to see some pressure.
Blitz coming on first down. He gets it away, and a catch is made by Kellen Winslow.
Yeah, that's when you scratch your head a little bit, and you come back in the meeting room on Monday and sit with your offensive coordinator and going, okay, what exactly was our thinking here? Now, if you convert it, now the game is basically over. I understand that. But the penalty that puts you to a 3rd and 13, a lot of bad things can happen when you're trying to get the ball deep into coverage. They had no downside in trying to undercut it. Pressure from the outside.
Freeman throws down the middle of the field. It's tipped and nearly intercepted by Crocker. And an injured Bengal will go limping off the field. That'll be Antoine Odom.
Well, you got both downs here, obviously, so you can do a little bit of anything. You got the 2-minute break as well. You don't have any timeouts left, obviously, so it's not a factor because you're going to get the 2-minute warning.
Blitz coming. Freeman rolling, being chased, still running for a first down and then some to the 36-yard line. A huge conversion on 3rd down to take us to the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati leads by 7. Young Josh Freeman trailing by 7, 1:59 to play at Paul Brown Stadium. His team down by 7. Blitz coming on first down. He gets it away and throws behind the receiver who comes back to get it, Williams, and he's to the 19-yard line.
They don't need to kill the clock yet. They can orchestrate a play. They got lots of time on the clock.
Again, a reminder, Tampa Bay, no timeouts left. Walk down to 1:35. To the end zone to Williams. Jump ball, and that is a touchdown. Williams able to take it away in traffic, and now a point after away from making it a 21-all game. What a throw and what a catch by the 4th-round rookie pick out of Syracuse.
Boy, he had 2 people all over him, front and back. That's just going up and coming down with the ball. Great play by the young rookie.
This young away from Jonathan Joseph.
Young man coming out. He is a strong player. I know that following him in the draft, made a number of those types of plays up at Syracuse.
Point after is right down the middle, and this game is tied at 21 with 1:26 to play. Both Tampa Bay touchdowns set up by Carson Palmer interceptions.
Nice air on the ball is going to give his guys a chance. Too often you see young quarterbacks throw that flat, ends up out of bounds. Nice catchable ball for the receiver. Catchable if you got the strength to come up with it like Mike Williams did.
All right, so now we take a look. With 1:26 left, Cincinnati has all 3 timeouts remaining. And it should be noted their field goal kicker, Mike Nugent, is having one of the better seasons among all field goal kickers, at least through a month of play. Around the entire NFL, he's only missed once. And last week in Cleveland and in the first week against New England, hit on a 54-yarder.
And let's keep in mind, at the end of the half, they went the length of the field in a 2-minute, so they've already got one dry run at this. The good thing is they got a peek at what that defensive profile is at Tampa Bay, because you know they pulled it out then. That's one thing about the no huddle. That's an advantage for Cincinnati. This is standard operating procedure for them. Also big key, 3 timeouts. Going to be huge for Carson Palmer. Can orchestrate whatever he wants with 3 timeouts.
So another game in the NFL is already in overtime. Washington and Green Bay. Bernard Scott from the goal line. And he is leveled at the 15. Outstanding kick coverage by the Buccaneers.
Now you don't want, don't get stupid here now. Well, the last thing you need is to be backed up even further.
Well, 16 times a game-winning drive in the first quarter or in overtime for Palmer. 1 touchdown, or 1 interception, I beg your pardon, resulted in a Tampa Bay touchdown today right around this area of the field in the second quarter of the game, and then the interception a moment ago on 3rd down. And the Buccaneers go 51 yards for the game-tying score. Across the middle to the 45. 29-yard reception by Terrell Owens, who's up over 100 yards receiving today.
I'm not sure you don't hand off a quick little trap or draw here.
Well, you call that.
Yeah, all right. Now they're booing the run. Okay. There's no winning today. But you got all the timeouts you need, and that's what allows you to run in that situation. You got a timeout. You got to figure they're going to be passive. They need a good 25 yards to give themselves a decent chance at this. Again, the time is not a huge factor, so you don't have to throw just out routes to get stepped out of bounds. You can afford those inside routes like we saw to T.O. to set this up where they are right now. You can also afford to trail a guy underneath it, because that timeout, these 2 timeouts are huge in the play calling with 52 seconds left.
See Carson Palmer right at 20,000 passing yards, joining Ken Anderson and Boomer Esiason, the only Bengal quarterbacks to reach that number. Blitz coming. Palmer throws. And this time it's Ocho Cinco to the 47. Clock continues to run. The Bengals with 2 timeouts remaining. 21-21 game. Palmer's going to run the ball.
Yeah, on a sneak. That's a good call. With the no huddle, getting the sneak call, very rarely do you get the defense pinched off inside to stop it. Palmer, a big man. They got the timeout. No, they just utilized one. So now, because now you want a more orchestrated call. You'd like to get it to at least the 30-yard line.
All right, now for Mike Nugent in his career, of course, his first 2 years in the league, he was lights out with the Jets. Then he got hurt. But the lines that you see on the screen, the green line, which would indicate from there to the 68 mark, the next yellow line, his percentage from the line of scrimmage being from that distance and in. 68% from the 32-yard line and in, which would made it a 39-yard field goal. And then beyond at 45%. But again, Nugent appears to be healthy again, Brian Billick, and kicking the ball like he did when he first came into the league.
And the wind's not a factor today, so that's a good thing. Although it is a little warm, the ball's going to be a little heavier.
Good protection. Owens will step out of bounds, and a flag comes in. Talib was screaming that Owens pushed off. Of course, Ocho Cinco is flagged for a big pass interference call, and it is going to be against Owens.
Wow, that hurts.
Interference, offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Right here at the bottom, we're going to see at the very top, where you're apt to see it at the very top. Did he use the hand right there? Yeah, that last little push with the left hand, and you didn't need it. You didn't need it. You were going to be open. It's just almost instinctive that you got to give. The right hand you kind of see occasionally. The left hand, that was just instinct, just insurance, and it cost him. That's a big one now. That is a big one now, because now you got the one timeout. You may have to throw the ball here.
That's like deja vu all over again for Bengal fans. Their final drive last week in Cleveland, it was an interference call against Ocho Cinco, and then Palmer fumbled on the very next play.
You complete this inbounds, you may have to come up and kill it.
It's intercepted by Piscatelli, and he's inside the 40 and run out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Third interception today thrown by Palmer. And this young Buccaneer team now thinking about a stunner on the road.
You ain't done yet now. I know you're celebrating, you're feeling good. We'll put the chart up on the other guy now here in a second. Ball just tipping up off of Chad Ocho Cinco. Hit him in the hands. And now you gotta, we're gonna look at the percentages on the other guy here.
Connor Barth, whose season long is 49 yards, but his career long is 54 yards, and you see his percentages. They are very, very good.
Yeah, not as many as attempts.
No,
but that 80% from the third, they're right at that 80% mark. That's pretty good. I don't know how much of a risk. Well, if he's going to throw it here, this probably could be a trap or a draw as well. Wow.
They're going to throw it on first down. And are the feet in bounds? Yes, it is a catch down to the 12-yard line by Michael Spurlock. Tampa Bay is out of timeouts. They'll send the field goal unit out right now, you would assume.
Yeah, or they'd kill it real quick. They got it in there, so they're good, but they got to be ready. There might come a challenge from the booth, which give them a little time now to regroup.
We will review the previous play.
What a huge turn of events. Cincinnati had a 7-point lead before a Carson Palmer interception at midfield. Tampa Bay then scored. And now after another Palmer interception, the throw to the sideline were both feet in bounds and possession.
The feet are in bounds right here. Looks like the feet are set. Now we got to watch. Does the ball move?
He bobbled the ball.
Oh boy. Yeah, it moved enough. This is the oddly enough, the Tampa Bay Tony Dungy rule years back when they were playing St. Louis. Yes, the ball can touch the ground, but if you've got your hands and control through it, it's a catch. But I think there's enough movement there to say incompletion. Now let's go back. If I'm Tampa Bay, the way they've pressured and gotten to me, I'm not so sure I go out of the gun. I'm right at my field goal kicker's 80% mark. I don't want to risk losing a single yard. I'm not sure I don't take this thing from center or try to run it to get me a few yards, but I'd be concerned about throwing it the way Tampa or Cincinnati has gotten the pressure on Josh Freeman all day long.
Well, of course, we're waiting as to whether or not the call will stand on the field, but bear in mind the original line of scrimmage would be the 34-yard line, which would make it roughly a 51-yard field goal attempt.
One of the reasons I say not from the gun, Tom, is throwing a quick route, quick slant and out and hitch. It's very difficult from gun for the quarterback to get his hands from the gun, get it up quickly. So, and the DBs know that. So if you're going to throw the ball, okay, if they decide they're going to throw here, I'm not sure I go under center so that the DBs at least have to consider that it might be a quick route, that they do less so, particularly with a big-armed quarterback, a big delivery-armed quarterback like Josh Freeman.
But I think you said it before. They're out of timeouts. There's 5 seconds left. The worst thing that can happen is you miss a field goal. Well, not the worst thing. It's blocked and they run it the other way. But if you attempt it, you go to OT.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Goodness. Well,
so much for all that. Now they'll send a field goal unit out to try and win it in what will be, about a 32-yard try, 31-yard field goal. Boy, it certainly looked like that ball may have come loose, but it stands. And here we go, Connor Barth to win it. A 31-yard try, and Cincinnati will spend its final timeout. What a huge upset this would be for this Tampa Bay team that began the year with wins over Cleveland and Carolina. And people may say, hey, big deal, Cleveland and Carolina. When you're coming off a 3-13 season to start the year at 2-0, that is a major, major uplifting feeling for your ball club. Now you got thumped by the Steelers, but a chance to come on the road and steal one late in the game.
And this is what I was referring to, that you lost to Cleveland last week all but on the road. Well, okay, it means you got to be a good team on the road. But if you lose to a team that you're supposed to beat, and I'm not quite sure what that is, I'm throwing it out here, at home, you got to pick one up against a team, a good team on the road. That, to use your baseball parlances, you're 2 behind the count.
All right, now Barth with a chance to win it. Out of the hold of Chris Bryant. And it is right down the middle, and Tampa Bay has taken a 3-point lead, and there is 1 second, we're told, left in this game. With under 2.5 minutes to go, it looked like Cincinnati had this one all but wrapped up. But on a 3rd down and 13, an interception was thrown. Tampa Bay scores a game-tying touchdown. Palmer another interception, and now this to take the lead.
Well, for a young team like Tampa Bay, obviously what it means for Cincinnati, pretty self-evident. Let's focus on Tampa Bay. Young quarterback, young coach. I started the day by saying, you know what, they're learning. They just got schooled by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can they learn those lessons coming on the road? Hardest thing to do in all professional sports, in my opinion, winning on the road in the National Football League. What a huge win, obviously, unless we can get a special kickoff here returned by Cincinnati. For Raheem Morris, this Tampa Bay team, yeah, they made plenty of mistakes, but they hung in there. They didn't panic. Huge win for them to build on.
Tampa Bay scored 10 points in the final minute and 26 seconds of this game, both of them off Palmer interceptions. Piscatelli's interception set up what might be the game-winning field goal. There is 1 second left. What do you do here if you're the receiver? What do you do if you're the kick team first?
Oh boy, I don't know how far back in the playbook. You go back to the Stanford Cardinal Cal Bear game. Hope the band runs on the field and picks a few people off.
All right, ground ball. Fielded by Cosby, who throws it back across the field. And now looking for a little bit of running room. Up along the left sideline, and now a flip. And now another flip, and Ernest Graham covers it up, and that's that.
It made it exciting.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the youngest head coach in the league, Raheem Morris, steal one away from Cincinnati. 10 points in the final minute 26 to win it by 3. Wow.